Good morning. Welcome to Coffee Talk. I'm Mark Bradberry. Why don't you grab a cup and join me this morning? Hey, this is part 3 of The Power of Ordinary, so you may want to take a moment to look back at the previous 2 parts. You know, no one doubts that there are problems in the world. No one doubts that at all. All you have to do is just look around. You see shootings and criminal violence. You see refugees from poverty and oppression and warfare. You see political maneuvering and battling for power. You see riots to protest brutality that hypocritically become brutal in and of themselves. And what about the problems that exist in your own life, in your immediate circle? You know, the job doesn't go the way that you had hoped for. You missed a car payment. There's that unexpected hospital visit. Your best friend turns on you. There's divorce, gossip, backbiting, malice. These are real problems that exist in our lives. But let's take that a little bit further. What about those things that just are irritations in your life, things that don't go the way that you want, or things that result in outcomes that are not preferable? Your team didn't win. Your favorite TV show got canceled. Your kid didn't win the swim meet. In all of these situations, big or small, if you believe in a loving God and you're feeling overwhelmed with your inability to do anything about the situation, you will inevitably question your framework of life, and you'll ask this hard question. You'll say, "Where are you, God? Why aren't you doing anything about this situation?" Much has been said about this kind of thing throughout the centuries. A lot's been written, and I could sit here and wax philosophical with you. I could grow a long gray beard and say deep things of life, but that wouldn't help. No, it wouldn't help at all. So instead, I'm going to give you a simple, straightforward type of a truth, and be stand up about it. Why do these things happen? Well, it's because of you. You, that ordinary person. Well, think about this. Think about it for just a moment. Do you want God telling you what to do and forcing you to do it? No, you don't. You don't at all, because, that wouldn't be love, and you'd end up being just a slave or a robot. Second, do you always do what is right and wise and selfless? No, you don't. And as Yoda said, try does not count. So if God isn't controlling you and you don't always do good and true things, then, aren't you likely to create a few problems yourself? The answer to that is yes, you will. You will. It's unavoidable. You will be mean or rude. You will make mistakes. You will overeat. You will laugh at someone else's misfortune. You'll be selfish. You'll leave the lid up. You'll take that last piece of pizza, and maybe you'll even hurt someone or harm them. Now multiply that times 8 billion people, some of whom don't have a moral compass or standard to live by in the first place. Very rapidly, very quickly, the complications become extremely widespread. It's too much, God. It's too much. Where are you? Where are you? Listen, this was essentially the same question that Gideon posed when the Lord came to visit him. You remember Gideon. We spoke about him last time and before that. Gideon, whose name meant mighty warrior, was hiding from his enemy, the Midianites, who had overrun Israel. And, he was dealing with a real problem. He was a man who was living in fear. And the Old Testament book of Judges tells us that an angel of the Lord came and sat down beside Gideon and said, "Hey, oh mighty warrior, the Lord is with you." Now, Gideon, like all ordinary people, asked the question that he felt at that time. This problem had not been dealt with. And he said, "What do you mean the Lord is with me?" What happened to all the miracles I used to hear about, all these miracles of old? I'm not seeing it. We wouldn't have the problem, Lord, if you had been here with us. Where have you been? Don't tell me you've never asked the question. And the Lord did a very curious thing here. A very curious thing indeed. He ignored Gideon's question entirely. Totally. Why? Well, I think it was because it was the wrong question. The wrong question entirely. You see, Gideon already knew the answer to this. The question was just a whine. It was an attempt to deflect blame. It was an attempt to avoid responsibility. It was an attempt to blame God wrongly for the entire problem. It says that the Lord turned to him and said, "Go in the strength you have and save Israel from the Midianites. Am I not sending you?" And then Gideon tried just a different dodge. He said, but Lord, how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I'm just the least in my family. And it said that the Lord answered, and he said, "I will be with you. I will be with you, and you will strike down all the Midianites together." Now, friend, here's the point to all this. Yeah, there are big problems in the world. And what are the big problems in your world? You can try to dodge. You can try to blame God. You can try all those kind of things, and you'll get nowhere at all. Or you can accept responsibility for yourself and act to do good. Act to do good. The Lord says again, "I am here. I am here." Don't you know the power that is available? You can do my will. And that's pretty much the whole thing right there. Step up. Step up. And while you're at it, enjoy some coffee.